What's up guys, Usize here, back to another video. So in this video, I'll be teaching you how to make a colorful version of your map. So, an example like this, forest or dark green, grass, light green deserts. A map that looks like this. First step, just go follow my fantasy map tutorials on how to make, fantasy map, because we'll need a base of this for how to do this process. Real quick, I'm just going to duplicate that slide. And then this part can take a while, but you just gotta select all your names, villages, and coat of arms. So pretty much everything that's not related to the physical features of the map. So you wouldn't select islands, forest, deserts, or anything else like that. But, and you just put that on your side. If you miss anything, not too big of a deal. Just, get on next, go through compass, get that out of here, we don't need that. Okay, so, just for this, I just like selecting everything, not selecting any of the coat of arms or anything like that, and the cities, and since this is just supposed to be more of a, visual map, or not visual, easier to read, I'm like changing the font to Numato. And yeah, that's about it. Just make it less hard to read. Okay, now back to your map that's now empty. If it has any kingdom borders, you can throw those out. We don't need this. And if it has any border outlines, like how has some ocean blue, you can also delete that. Might need to zoom in here real quick just to delete that one. Okay. So, first up I normally start on is mountains. So, go up here, click the little arrow, go to polyline, and then just kind of trace along the main, about the center of your mountain point. And since this one has a lot of like jutting out points, try to follow. So I'm just gonna go there, click, and then go over it because I don't want this to look like it's doubled over. And just kind of go around here, go into that, trying to make it as thin as possible. And then I'll just continue around this, trying to only make it one line thickness. Once I got to the end, double click, make it black, set border thickness of 3. And just to make sure to get all the mountains, I just like making sure no areas are extra thick in some places where they should not be, by just moving the points back on themselves. Really simple. And then I'll just do the other mountain range right here. Just continue doing the polyline. And I'm just going to put that back over itself. Same there. Continue. And this little jutted out point, I'll just go over that. And this one. And then there. And there. Okay, now I have that. Just gonna make sure they're all the same point. And they are. Fantastic. Now we can do the mountains, because we already covered that step. Next step I normally like doing is forest. So I'll start with this step. You want to go up to the little arrow, click on the curve tool, and just roughly trace out the general outline of your forests. Just generally going along where the trees are. Pretty simple step. And then you want to make sure to remove the border thickness, but then go to colors, make it the second darkest green, a nice forest tone. Next forest I'll do is this, and I'll just go along there. You don't have to follow the coast if it goes along the coast. And if you go through mountains or rivers or anything like that, just make sure to send the rivers, or the mountains, rivers on front. Doesn't make sense if just this part be jutting out. Fix that. And this one, I will just trace along this foresty outline here, and since it goes along this edge, I'm just going to trace that out and then continue along that forest, and same thing. Okay, now that I have the general forest done, I can delete all the forest. That's another step done. Next step, typically like doing, I mean, you can do this step, the first, really felt like it. I'm just gonna make the world just a light green, just to represent the, grass stuff. If your map includes a swamp or something, just try to make that like a purplish black. My map does not include swamps, but say if this wanted to be represented as a swamp, you could just make it something like that. And, that'd work well enough. And if there's any mesa stuff, just find the color that would work closest. Alright, now the desert is the next step. So I just, kind of the same as this. Trace along the edges, except this one actually has coastline. That I'm just gonna quickly trace through, and like so, and just roughly get the outline. We can edit this after the polyline is created. I messed up. If you mess up, not the biggest thing in the world, it's just very annoying. If you do, and you just go over. If you have like a really, really big desert, you can try breaking the desert up into smaller areas that you can do, which will make the, it easier to do. But I'm just gonna trace the general likeness of the map. Almost done tracing it. And I'll go to the other part. Now that you're done with the coast, just trace the general desert lines. Now you can I'm just gonna delete these and paste this back on. Remove the border thickness. Now you can see that, it's not perfectly overlapping, so you just can go back through and edit some of your polylines just so they cover the pre-existing land area, and so you shouldn't be able to see any of the green stuff left. This won't be an exact copy, but it'll be good enough that nobody should realistically be able to tell that there's any difference going on here. So I'm just gonna just move the polyline points over the area, and I missed that area. But okay, now that I'm done with this, for deserts, I generally like making it normally the same color that's used for like the base, this color I like using. Last step is just putting the name, or the names back on. Since you changed the font, you might need to change where places go. Like this is covering Schlafen, or like that. That kind of got uncentered. This coat of arms is calling Junta, and some of them are no longer matching their cities, but you can just go around and fix that. But overall, most of them are fine. Well, this has been Z-Slides, teaching you how to make a colorful map. Z-Slides, out.